Before we get started, please go over to Amazon.com and grab a copy of my book, Education and Justice. If you have an African-American son in public school, you need this book because I teach you the many ways that public schools mistreat African-American boys and what you can do to help your son. So go over there and get your copy immediately. Hello, my beautiful black people. How are you all on this beautiful Sunday morning? It's a little cool than normal, but it's still a beautiful Sunday morning. All right, so I want to get right into this video because I know some of you are trying to get to church and others of you are trying to watch games and enjoy family. And some of you may be even at some of these busy airports, right? It's just crazy. So I'm not going to hold you long, but what I do want to talk to you about is something that has been in the news the past couple of days. I've addressed it. I've addressed it already in a short 3-minute Instagram, TikTok, a short on the channel here, but I want to address it this time from a different angle, and that is Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson granting the Trump administration a temporary stay so that the First Court of Appeals can hear Trump's request for a regular stay, and that now has become, it's all around social media, main media, that Justice Jackson, is in cahoots with the Trump administration, unintentionally or intentionally, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That woman is on the court fighting what Trump is doing every single day. Every single day. All right. She's the one who's writing these dissenting opinions, who's trying to stop what he's doing that is in violation of the Constitution. And yet some people, and I'm not wanting to get on the people in this video. I want to talk about the media because I see some media bias here, it looks like, right? It looks like there's some media bias in the way that they're writing up the headlines and even some of the articles. Now, I don't know if they're biased. I'm just saying the way I read them and the way a lot of you have read these things because you have made comments in response to my video. And by the way, I'll put that video in the description. It's a short 3-minute video that explains procedurally what Justice Jackson did and why she did it. Okay. And not only was it procedural, but it was tactical. All right. It was tactical. All right. So the media, though, the way they're reporting this thing is crazy. I mean, this is an African-American woman, right? I mean, this is a black woman who it wasn't too long ago that Reagan called black women welfare queens for even receiving welfare. All right. And now here we have a black female on the court, a Supreme Court justice. And now she's being blamed for holding welfare back from people. And most people on welfare are white, by the way. But blacks are disproportionately recipients of SNAP. And that's what they call it now, SNAP versus welfare. But that's what it is. It's a social safety network is what it is. All right. And it's so wonderful to live in a country that provides a social network for people who are not as wealthy as everybody else. And that's a lot of people. So she gets the blame for it, when this is absolutely the president's agenda. Pam Bondi, his attorney general, said as much. She said that they're going to fight for his agenda. This is his doing. He's the one who has appealed this and appealed that and requested this and requested that. It is not Justice Jackson. So I would not entertain, be it main media or social media, anyone saying that this is Justice Jackson's fault. It's not. It's not. It's not. Let me just show you a couple examples of what I'm talking about. Now, this is CNN and MSNBC, and I am not, both of them are not Fox. All right. So I am not accusing them of being biased or blaming Justice Jackson, but the way these things are written up, I can see why there is a lot of confusion, why there are a lot of African American people, a lot of them who are basically feeling betrayed by Justice Jackson because of the way these things are being reported, both in main media and social media. I address social media. I said that you need to be careful who you listen to on social media, because these legal things, I know people just think that they can interpret what's going on legally because they watch some episodes of Law and Order, right? They are Law and Order fanatics, so they understand the law. No, they don't. No, they absolutely do not. The judge's order, Justice Jackson's order granting the stay was about a page and a half, and it was filled with a lot of legal jargon. A layperson cannot understand the nuances. They can understand the words, not all of them. But the words they do understand, they don't know how in the world those words have been interpreted by courts, by judges. There's no way you as a layperson can read these legal documents, complicated legal documents, and understand them unless you have been to law school and have practiced law and taken the bar and all of that. I mean, we have to spend 3 years in addition to 4 years of college. That doesn't make lawyers geniuses. I'm not saying that. But it is something that we know more than the average person. As a doctor, knows medicine better than the average person. As a mechanic, knows how an engine works more than a doctor or a lawyer. As an electrician, knows electricity and electrical things more than all of those I just mentioned. And on. As a chef, knows how to make just exquisite meals more than anyone else. It's just that you after a while of training, of schooling, of knowledge, of experience, of getting it wrong and getting it right, you just know more about that topic than other people, that subject matter. Yet folks think they can just pick up a court order and have no qualifications whatsoever and interpret it. And what they end up doing is misleading a lot of people. And we gotta say, hey, I'm not listening to you for legal advice. Look, the state of Texas, if you want to represent somebody in court because you think you know the law, you first got to get a license from the state of Texas. They got to qualify you. You see what I'm saying? And the same is true with a barber. Same is true with so many different fields. You speak of a barber. Barbers have specialized training, knowledge, and so forth. And that's why you don't mind sitting there and spending $25, $30, $40, $50. The beauticians, the same thing. Spend $200, $300 to get hair done and so on because they have that specialized knowledge. Don't let me get close to your hair with a set of clippers because I don't know what I'm doing. Even if I were in trial, you know what I would do? If I were in trial and it involved a barber, you know what I would do? I would hire a barber to come and talk to the jury as an expert in being a barber. I would not be trying to explain how to cut somebody's hair myself because I don't know anything about that. All right, I just know when it's good and when it's not good. So media bias Is it playing a role here in how Justice Jackson is being portrayed in this matter? You just think about this. There is no way this woman is responsible for the Trump administration. There's no way. All right. I want to just show you how this is being portrayed here. And I don't know that it's any intentional bias on these, on the part of CNN or MSNBC. I don't know. But it has affected a lot of people. All right. So let's go to another screen and I'll show you what I mean. All right. So this is a little bit of the article that CNN wrote on this matter. All right. Supreme Court lets Trump pause full SNAP payments for now. Well, that right off the bat is it's not nuanced. It's a straight statement that is, it's not really accurate, because this is what the Justice Jackson did herself. The full court didn't hear this. All right, she did this. And she did it for a reason, because just think about it. Suppose she had gone to all the court members and said, let's all look at this. What would have happened? Well, what probably would have happened is 6 of them would have overruled anything she wanted to do. So she just did it herself. So I wouldn't say, I don't know about the Supreme Court. That's the headline. Now they go on to say Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson on Friday temporarily paused a lower court order that required the Trump administration to cover full food stamp benefits for tens of millions of Americans in November. Now watch this. Siding with the administration on a short-term basis in a legal fight that has quickly become a defining confrontation of the government shutdown. So they allege that she sided with the Trump administration, which means if you read that narrowly, yes, she granted the stay for procedural purposes. One could argue tactical purposes. All right? But the inference there is that she sided with them in trying not to pay SNAP benefits. That's misleading. That is misleading. That woman is not trying to keep hungry people from eating. That's not what's going on. That's not true. She didn't side with them on their greater goal of, for whatever reason, they've said that they don't have the money. They got the money in other places, but they need to use it for other things. They don't want to rob Peter to pay Paul, is what they're saying. All right, so whatever the reason is, they don't want to release these funds. And Justice Jackson is not of that opinion. There is nothing to suggest she's of that opinion. And it gets worse. So they go on to say the decision, while temporary, could put at risk the full benefits for millions of Americans who rely on the supplemental, on SNAP basically, to feed themselves and their families. So now if something were to go wrong here, they've already put it out there that Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is the reason for it. Or it is reasonable for somebody to infer that from the way this is written up. So this is the headline, the first paragraph, and the second paragraph, which points the finger, again, whether intentionally, unintentionally, either way, that's what it does. And I think that is really, really, really unfair to the justice. Really unfair. An African-American woman, the only one on the court. All right, the only one on the court who knows all about the black struggle. And for anyone to imply that she is trying to keep money out of the mouths of poor people, whether black, white, Latino, and so on, is ridiculous. because she is that one. She's like the Thurgood Marshall of the court. I advocated for a black woman to be on the court for 2 decades because her perspective is so very needed, because they can represent the folks who are typically at the bottom of the barrel. And we're talking about a woman, by the way, who was a public defender and who was on the sentencing commission. She knows about and has people in her family who have been entangled with the criminal justice system. She knows what it's like to be at the bottom of the barrel, economically, criminal justice, racial, and so on. She is a black woman with natural hair. I mean, come on. So I take offense with this, the way this is written up. Again, it could very well be inadvertent. In fact, let's just say it's inadvertent. CNN, whoever wrote this up, were not trying to cast Justice Jackson in any sort of way. Well, it does, because a lot of people have showed up on my channel, a lot of African-American people on my YouTube channel who have expressed feelings of betrayal and disappointment, and they mention because of what is being reported in main media. That is unfair. I feel like saying it the way it's said in my community. What you're not going to do is blame this black woman who is on the bench, all right, in the spirit of Justice Thurgood Marshall, who has done everything right in her life, right? Harvard grad, Harvard law grad, has just a wonderful, wonderful pedigree, married to a surgeon, several daughters that she's raising, and you're going to some way, somehow or another, imply that whatever happens to Snap is her fault and not the administration? Really? The administration could have just done what the lower judge, Judge McConnell, ordered them to do. He ordered them to do it and have it done by last Monday, no later than last Wednesday. And when they didn't do it, he ordered them to make sure it was done, I think, this past Friday. And instead of doing it, they are appealing it and trying not to do it. So don't blame her. That's crazy. And then the scene with MSNBC, although not as bad. Here's what they say. Supreme Court allows Trump administration to temporarily block SNAP benefits. It's basically the same headline. The Supreme Court temporarily blocked the lower court's ruling ordering the Trump administration to fully fund food benefits for millions of hungry Americans, throwing the key program into further chaos as the government shutdown drags on. So here they're saying that Justice Jackson, in fact, they go on to say in a 2-page order issued Friday night, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson granted the administration a temporary reprieve from paying full aid and benefits for November, as if she's the one who has thrust this whole matter into further chaos, when that is not what she did, and that was not what she was intending to do. She's trying to protect. She's trying to get the food to them faster. So it just irks me. The only sister on the court. I mean, you just get tired of the system blaming black people for everything, even when they do everything right. Still blame black people. If you ain't blaming black women, you're blaming black men. If you're not blaming black men, you're blaming black children. But it always finds its way, the blame always finds its way back to us African-American people. Even for those like Ketanji Brown Jackson, who is a wonderful person, who's never done anything to deserve anything but just the best will, good faith, and so on. And here she's getting blamed for this. when clearly we know who is behind the agenda. So I just had to say something in defense of a woman that I highly, highly respect. And again, you beautiful black people, take my word, she's up there fighting for you. She's fighting for you. Sometimes she's the only voice out of those 9 people, I almost come to tears, who's up there fighting for us, our families, our children, our grandchildren. She, Justice Jackson. So be protective of her. Give her the benefit of the doubt. Not just because she's black, because there's another person on the court who's black that you cannot give the benefit of the doubt when it comes to us. But this one, since her time on the court, she has proven herself with us. And we should have her back. We should have her back so that she can keep doing the work that she's up there to do. And that's to be fair to everybody. Don't misunderstand me. But to make sure our perspective, our voices are heard and respected. She's our voice on that court. She would not do anything to hinder hungry people, whether white, black, Hispanic, Latino, Arab, Asian, or anybody else, from receiving food. That she just wouldn't do it. All right. So I had to say that. All right. I am Reverend and Civil Rights Attorney Augustus Corbett. Thank you for watching this video. Stay woke.